In this video, we'll be looking at the high-resolution 3D seabed charts produced by Seafield Navigation for the TurboWind software family. These charts are not suitable for navigation, and today we'll be looking at the folio we've classified as the North Minch, and onwards south of that into the South Minch. We'll be looking at some of the seabed features that these charts expose. The geology of the west of Scotland on land is quite spectacular. It is echoed by what happens under the water as well. So here we have Lochinver Bay, the Summer Isles. We'll zoom into Lochinver Bay, take a look there. So here we can see the very unusual seabed, as you would expect if you're looking at the land. It's going to roll out under the sea in the same fashion. So seabed channels, bridges, very rocky seabed. I'm sure in these deeper hollows where the currents are quite weak, you'll have silts and sediments in there, quite suitable for langoustines, crabs, lobsters, crays, velvets. We'll come down through the Summer Isles here. This is a new addition to the data in the recent weeks. Again, I don't think that trawling is allowed in here, but static gear is permitted. If we switch on the colour wash on top of the 2D, we'll see what appears here. So you can see the deep valleys jumping out at you, 63 fathoms deep, rising to 25 fathoms nearby. The blue areas here are, on this chart image here, the shallows here, as indicated in the Admiralty chart. Deeper water here. We'll zoom into this gullies here. Scale wise, we're looking at 1,000 to 2,500 scale, about 600-700 meters to the screen, north to south. So these features are very pronounced, jump straight out of the chart at you. We'll come into the inside the Summer Isles here, into this channel here, 26-30 fathoms of water. So you can see we have these pronounced peaks in the seabed. We're looking at 1 meter contours, roughly a half fathom. Check that. So we'll come further out to the south, further out into the Minch. Again, we've got the seabed features very clearly defined. And bank here to the north end of Skye. So we have a very steep-sided bank with slabs of rock one on top of each other, giving ledges all the way along, and ledges further out here in deep water as well, individual peaks. So you can see this single peak here. We're down at 1 to 1500 scale, that's 400 meters to the screen. That single peak can be quite clearly seen, very hard. Sheer cliff face, 1 meter contours in the cliff face, it's rising 10, 20, 30 meters. With a very deep scour along one side of it, indicating extremely hard material. We'll go further out towards Sheant Islands, past the north end of Skye here. There's a ridge that we should maybe look at here. And again, on the 3D image on the left hand side, we can see sweeping crescent features. With other features running in a very southwest to northeast orientation. So if we can remove this wash from the surface, and we'll switch on the tidal streams for this area, I'm sure we'll see a dominant tide running southwest to northeast. So here we have the surface and seabed tides in green and blue. And if you can see the tide speeds there, if we wind this forward by an hour, it switches from into a northeast direction tide. And again, as the tide changes, it runs away back into the southwest, generating these features on the seabed that you can see in the 3D image. So from that you can deduce that there'll be hard features on the seabed, but as the tide flows it will accumulate softer material behind the harder features, giving these finger-like appearances on the seabed. We'll carry on further south, just in the inside of Raasay here. Take a look there. Again, features on the seabed that if you don't know that you're there, you won't utilize them. Like I've said in previous videos, there are over 100 vessels in the UK using this system now. They are all profiting from it. We're over on the west side of Skye now. I'm going here. So again, these features are very pronounced, echoing the features that you have on land. And again, these deep channels that you can see, very workable channels for static gear vessels, very tight channels, too narrow for trawlers. You may not be allowed to trawl in here anyway. We'll take a quick look into a place here, Loch Sneezert. Again, the seabed here, very reminiscent of the land surrounding it. There's a deep feature here with a ridge next to it. We'll zoom in there. Even a hard protrusion here, a couple of hard protrusions, deep scour. I'll switch off these tidal marks here. I want to be focusing on the 3D charts. And again, in this area we have these pock marks on the seabed. So we'll keep on going south, crossing into the South Minch folio. A new addition in this area has been the data for the charts for the Sound of Slate here. All the way from here up into past Kyle of Lachalsh and the inside of Skye. So again, we're at 1 to 1,500 scale, 400 meters to the screen. We can see this very steep feature here on the seabed. And just out of interest, we'll jump up here to just off Eilean Castle to show you the seabed in here. very deep, 60 fathoms, very narrow loch. And we come further down the loch, we can see shallows falling away quite rapidly down to these 60 fathoms depths. But on the shallow shelves here, it dries here due to low tide. So lots of opportunities for hand diving here for scallops. So we'll keep on coming south here, back out into the South Minch. Quite a prominent feature here in the seabed. Nothing much to show in the Admiralty chart, but something very prominent. You can see the steep sides. And if we look at the 3D chart, we can see the geological features on the seabed, these gouges. So again, these scars on the rock, on the seabed, on the shallow plateau here, along with this narrow channel. The channel's at the bottom of it's about a half mile wide. Up here on the to the northeast, just off the screen, we've got a peak with another channel appearing. More shallow features to the northwest here. We'll take a look down here off Call and Tyree. Isolated seabed feature here. So you can see the shape clearly defined. If you're working static gear in here, you can pick out the edges quite successfully. And we'll come out to the Stanton banks. A very volcanic looking seabed. You know that CNet boats do go out here and work. Some trawling goes on out here as well. Just outside the 12-mile limit here in the green. And we'll come back inside. We've got the Corribrechen in here, we won't take a look at that. Nobody was fishing in there. So here are some more seabed features hopping out at us. Again, always echoing the surrounding geology that you can see above water. Very pronounced gouges and scars in the seabed. I did see a channel running, starting to appear going north here. So we can see the curved features in the seabed. If that's rock, it's probably been lava flows from a very long time ago. I don't know how long. But we're not far from Rum here. Up here, Arnamurchan, we know that's an old volcanic crater at Arnamurchan Point. And all of the west coast of Scotland was volcanic in the past. So I think what you're seeing here are the remnants of very old volcanoes. So again, we've got very unusual things happening here. We've got, that's a single hole there of 106 fathoms. And its neighbouring hard spot is 20 fathoms, roughly a half mile away. Not even a half mile. So we'll stop there. The list of outlets where you can find these charts and the software, the TurboWind software to use the charts, is shown at the end of this video.